Oh, you can see me right there. What would be good is if you could show what you're looking at on your phone on the TV, because Android is different than Windows. Okay? It's two different animals. So I've got the cooler going, and pull myself up on here. It's nighttime now. I usually don't do 3 videos in the same day. I sneeze. I usually don't do 3 videos in the same day, but things are different right now. And let me see if I remember how to turn this thing on. Wait. See if I remember how to turn this thing on. Yeah, things are different. Yeah, I remember. Now I see. Okay. Things are different now because, well, number one, I don't have a car with me right now to go anywhere. And I found some cologne. There must be some evil spirits or something. First of all, I dropped the mirror right now, but luckily it didn't break. Second apparition around here. I should burn some myrrh, but the place I got it from, I don't trust it. I needed to get some myrrh from Jerusalem. I'm going to look for some tonight. So I found some cologne. I didn't really find it, but I've got one bottle of cologne that doesn't have the sprayer on it. And well, I bought a cheap bottle of cologne from the old days, Jovan, and so I took the cap off it right now and I put it on this other expensive Eternity. So I've been trying to find out, where that Eternity came from. I guess it must be mine. I don't know. But I put some on, and I'm like, man, this is for young people, right? And I don't know. It's just weird. But let me see here. Let me check the signal real quick before we get on with the shoe. 4 people in here. Everybody, 4 people that are in here. If you're not from California, well, I am, and you know that truck, that thing that happened in Florida, those people are from here, from California. I'm 70 miles from Fresno, and then they're about, I don't know, like an hour and a half from Fresno. It's basically in this Stockton, Ripon area. Everybody knows where Stockton, Modesto, that's where they're from. Ceres, Ceres. That's where they were from. And I'm going to be talking about that. tonight. And so I don't got a lot to talk about. That's all I have to talk about right now. I'd like to talk just about that because I got a little bit more information for you, and also about what's going on in Washington, D.C. This is something strange going on in Washington, D.C. Because just like David Icke, I think this dude might be a reptilian shapeshifter. This guy who is driving the truck, he might be a reptilian shapeshifter. Okay? Now, they are from a different culture, so we really don't really know that well. On our own culture, we would know how to basically know where this dude is coming from. Okay, but this is a different culture. So we should find out. I mean, all the information is there. It's all video recorded. All the information is there. Yeah, I'm going to talk about this here in a minute. But the dude is suspect. To me, the dude is suspect of being a reptilian shapeshifter. And well, David Icke talks about, I forget which book he showed. Which book is it that has the Washington, D.C.? Because I also want to talk about this thing that they're kicking out all the people in Washington, D.C. David Icke shows Washington, D.C. in here, and he shows how it's all placed in, particular, it's positioned, and it looks like a schematic diagram, but it's like a web, and it's the shape of a, I don't know, different satanic shapes. And so this is why they're trying to kick all the homeless people out over there. There's something going on. David Icke has talked about this before. Okay? And I told you about that stuff, how they try to move all these government workers around, the firefighters. This is what they done when they took out Martin Luther King. They moved the firefighters around. They moved, school teachers around. They made it so that they can go in there and do all this stuff without anybody seeing it. And right now they're doing it to the Foundation of Black Americans in Washington, D.C. People in government, they're moving them around. People in the military, they're moving them around. They're kicking them out. Right? They're kicking them out. They're kicking people out of the fire departments all in Washington, D.C. because it's, I don't know if you've ever been there, okay? I went to Delaware one time. I didn't know this stuff was going on in these places. It looks like 80% foundational Black Americans there. When I walked into the Walmart, because something had happened, I'd left all my stuff. I'd left it over there in Ohio, coming into Pennsylvania, Youngstown. I think it's right on the Ohio-Pennsylvania border. I had taken a shower there at the travel center, and I forgot all my stuff, my travel bag. I'd left it there, and so when I got over to Jersey, when I got over to New Jersey's, it's right across the street. It's just a bridge to Delaware. right? They're all together. Delaware, Washington, D.C., Maryland, Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, New Jersey, and New York. They're all together, right? You just cross a bridge here, cross a bridge there. Well, anyhow, I looked for the nearest Walmart, and the nearest Walmart was in Delaware. So when I walked into the Walmart, I was just like, whoa, there was no white people. I think I saw like one or two white people. I didn't know things like this was going on. It's basically like here where I live. It's the same thing, but only it's Hispanic. You don't hardly see no white people. It's all Hispanic. But if you go down to the next town, then it's like 50-50. But 50% white, 50% Hispanic. And but anyhow, that's what I'm talking about. This is that area. Washington, D.C. It's high concentration of FBAs, Foundational Black Americans. Okay? This is a hub for the whole world. For the whole world. That's why David Icke talks about it in his book. I don't know where he shows the pictures, but he's got a book that shows the pictures of Washington, D.C., and he shows it in there how it makes a picture of these satanic symbols. That's why they're doing this right now. They're planning on bringing some people in to Washington. These must be the high-level devils. Okay? And that's what's going on right now. That's why they're kicking everybody out of Washington. They're trying to kick everybody out of Washington, D.C. But where they're going to go? To Maryland? Right? This place is a trip. And so I don't know what to make about that. I mean, they're kicking everybody out. And I'm going to have to think about this. Now, as far as the, and I also, let me turn off the cooler. See, that's what I did earlier with that mirror right now. That's what I did with the mirror just a minute ago. What was I talking about? Oh yeah. So I seen all the homeless people there in Washington. I was watching a lot of videos on Facebook. And well, one message that needs to get out to the homeless people is that the homeless people need to understand that they are infested with undercover agents posing as homeless people. That's one thing they need to understand. Okay? Just like they got the churches infested with undercover agents, which I think are reptilian shapeshifters, a lot of them. This book tells you. Snitch Culture by Jim Redden. That's how I found out. They're in the homeless people. They're agents. Some of them are agent provocateurs, and they get paid, and they can go out there and do all the dope they want to. Just go back, report the stuff, what's going on, who's doing what, who's got the drugs, who's, you know, the all the activities making money or whatever. The second largest industry that is actually going down right now not only runs the things that you get from your professionals, but they also run 50% of the illegal drugs on the streets. That is to say that these very, very rich people have connections with very, very poor people down on the streets. They run together. It's worldwide. It's a worldwide network. But anyhow, that's one thing that the homeless people need to realize. Okay, and that will give them a little bit more of a fighting chance so that they're not at such a disadvantage. Okay, they need to know that there are snitches, informants, undercover agents, agent provocateurs posing as homeless people. Okay, so that's all I've got for the homeless people now. On this thing, why is somebody leaving 3 messages? You know, that looks like a troll. But whatever, it increases the views anyway. It makes the notifications go out to more people. So, on these drivers, I want to give you something to think about. Okay, they've got all the information. They've got the video. Okay. This video camera that's on the truck runs 24/7. I'm pretty sure. Okay. That's why you saw the video that you did. And it's a forward-facing camera and a rear-facing camera. Shows you the traffic in front of the truck and the people driving the truck. And not only that, but they've got electronic logging devices on trucks. So when that truck moves over 5 miles per hour, they say 15, it's bull because, you know, it never does what they say. It turns on basically when it wants to. But basically, if that truck moves faster than 5 miles an hour, the ELD kicks on. Okay, so you don't want to move that truck because it'll redline you. So now whenever you come into one of these way stations, what the hell is this? You know, out of service. You don't want to move that truck. It used to be you could put it on PC, keep it on PC, you know, in case you need to move around in the parking lots. But sometimes you forget. So you don't see truckers just moving around like, you know, like they used to. Once that truck stops, it's pretty much stopped right there. You don't want to have any issues when you come through these way stations, right? I mean, half hour and your whole schedule, your whole day is shot. And so you try not to move your truck. If the truck moves, it turns on the ELD. Okay? So now everything that I said earlier, I forgot to take into consideration that this is a team. Okay? So I was thinking like solo, you know, because when I drive. I drive solo. I'd say probably 80% of the trucks out there are solo. And so um, that's what I was thinking. I was saying, when that ELD turns on, the camera turns on. No, in this truck with these two guys, that camera is pretty much, you don't have to wait for it to. I'm not making sense now. Okay, basically, that truck never stops. Okay, where a solo driver, the truck stops. In with a team, the truck never stops. It doesn't have to stop, except for, to put fuel in the truck every, 1,000 miles or so. You got to put some more fuel in the truck. It takes about 400 gallons of fuel. And usually when they do that, the other driver will jump out, go take a shower, use the bathroom, whatever, take a shower, and boom, they're back down the road on these team drivers. And so that's something to take into consideration with these two guys, okay, that were driving. Now, you know that the electronic logging device, I think, is a bunch of bullcrap, right? I mean, to have a log, yeah, that's good. Just like Captain Kirk, he's got a log on the Enterprise. You keep a log, that's good. It's good to keep a log because you always can, in 3 years you can go back and find out what you were doing at this time. That's good to keep a log. They can run the ELD in the truck. That's no problem. I'm just saying that the fines that they put on the drivers about this ELD, it shouldn't be like that. Okay? The ELD to track the truck is fine, but I think drivers should be able to have a paper log. They can put their own stuff on there. If anything like this ever happens and they were cheating, okay, they get caught cheating. Okay, big deal. They got caught cheating. They'll get a violation. They get put out of service or whatever. Okay, that's the least of their worries right now when something like this happens. But the ELD will tell you what that truck was doing. Okay, that'd be nice if it was like that, but it's not. So anyhow, the ELD shows you what the truck was doing, but these guys, there was two people in the truck. They probably switch back and forth because the ELD is stupid. It doesn't go along with your circadian rhythms, right? So I wouldn't doubt if they're switching back and forth. That's besides the point. It's all caught on camera anyway. And so the ELD, when all this information comes out, I'll bet you they were switching back and forth. I mean, I can't say with 100% certainty, but I would imagine that that's what they do. It's like, imagine yourself with somebody else driving. You're driving across country. You feel sleepy? Okay, you want to drive? Right? But that's against the law to do that because the law is stupid. Okay? You can't do that. You have to drive. Even though you're sleepy, you have to drive. Or else your drive time will be lost or whatever. It's difficult to explain. But anyhow, all that is going to come out. You look at the passenger. We still don't know what ethnicity the passenger is, right? We don't even know his name. Nobody even mentioned him. When you look at the passenger, he looks like, oh my, there was something going on. They were probably playing chicken. or something. And this dude came back. He saw the truck way over from the back. He could tell which truck it was, and he was probably picked up speed. I'm just saying. We don't know. All this information will come out. He probably picked up speed to pass him, right? And this dude, you could see, he looked like this. He's 26. You know, he's got to have perfect vision. And he just like, right? And so the passenger, we're going to have to get some information from the passenger, because the passenger, look at his body language. Nobody's paying attention to the passenger's body language. He's like, he knew something was going on, right? And so he knows what happened. Put him on the stand, find out what happened. Okay? And so now, what are all the other truck drivers going to think? There's what, 2 million truck drivers? There's 2 million truck drivers in the United States. You know how many truck drivers do that? Do illegal stuff? Okay, so if he did something that was illegal, do you mean to tell me that if you're in a car and you make a U-turn and you cause that to happen, you're going in for vehicular homicide? This is strange. How did it switch over to homicide so quick? You would think it'd be manslaughter. And there's a lot of stuff there to think about. And so now, if this guy gets a good lawyer, right? If he gets a good lawyer, I would say pay attention to this and let's see what actually becomes of it, because it sounds goofy. What did they do? Did they give him a citation? Did they give him a citation after they pulled the vehicle out and let him finish making the U-turn? And also, what I said earlier about he would have to be stopped, because he would have to be pulled over to the side of the road because he's going to go into the fast lane. Okay, no, there's a space where he could have gone in. Okay, so that wasn't, I thought there was only 2 lanes, but apparently there's 2 lanes and a empty lane right there. If you look at the pictures, you'll see it. Okay. So he didn't have to pay so much attention to the other side of the freeway, like I said. Okay. Because there was actually a place where he could go. So he only had to pay attention to the traffic that was going in his direction. All he had to do was, look in the mirror, see if there's any traffic, and wait for there not to be any traffic. And apparently, there was something else going on. Okay? So it wasn't as complicated as I thought it was. I thought he had to monitor this deal and these coming over here and time it out, and that's why he took off fast. No, there was no reason for him to do that. All he had to do was wait for this side, for there to be no traffic on his side. Okay, so I'll clear that up. But what did they do? Did they write him up a citation and they just finished making the U-turn and they took off and got back to California? Because on a team, you get back to California overnight. Okay? When you're solo, it takes like 3 days. Okay? about 3 days or 3.5 days, something like that. I think it's 3 days. Because you drive 10, 11 hours, sleep 4, 10, 11 hours, sleep 4, 10, 11 hours, sleep 4. So you're traveling 600 or 700, depending on how fast you're going, 600 or 700 miles a day. In 3 days, that's 2,100 miles, and it's 2,600 miles across. So you would need to do that 4 times. But on your third day, you've just picked up an extra 12 hours because you 10 hours on duty, off 10 hours. Okay, so it's basically 3 days. But these people who are running a team, they do it in one day because the truck never stops running. They do it in 24 hours. And a little bit more than 24 hours. And so the one guy, I saw this one guy, he was talking, he's like pissed, man. He says, this guy, he says, we're going to do this and we're going to do that and everything. And he goes like, he said, how did he get back to California so fast? Well, because they're a team. And so they just let him go because he went back to California, right? And so it's right over here, Stockton, Sirius, California. And so Mother Trucker did, this is how I know, because I listened to Mother Trucker. He checked it out and he says that the company is shady. Okay. And you want to hear all that, go to Mother Trucker and he'll tell you about it. And so everybody's saying they should charge the trucking company for hiring somebody like this. Okay. And so he said, well, how did they get back to California so fast? Okay, so now this other guy, I guess the governor of Florida, he came out there and he said, we're going to arrest them. Okay. Why didn't they arrest them on the spot? They let him go. They just wrote him up a citation or something. And, nobody's talking about it. And he says, we're going to arrest him and he's going to be in prison for the rest of his life. Well, tell that to his lawyer. Because if he gets a good lawyer, right? And I guess they arrested him. So what did they do? They extradited him. They came down to California and arrested him. What did they send him on a bus? Or did they fly him on an airplane back to Florida? Right? How did they get him over? How did they get somebody? Or is he still in jail here and then they're going to extradite him later? They wait till they get a whole bunch of people to ship. How does that work? And so is he here or is he in Florida again already? And so that's a lot of stuff. Just think what everybody else is going to think now. All the other truck drivers, everybody's out there making mistakes left and right. Now they're going to know that these mistakes that you make out there can put you in prison for the rest of your life. Right? And maybe they'll start paying them more once they realize that. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so this is going to make all these drivers aware of how dangerous this has been, all these dumbass moves that you've been making, it's going to let them know they better not be doing this crap no more. They don't realize that they can go to prison for the rest of their life, right? So the facial expressions this guy showed, I don't know. I don't know if there's a difference in the culture. I don't know if he was scared, but, you know, uh, ashamed of being dumb because, you know, he didn't take the right road, running out of time on the, you know, did he feel dumb, you know, in front of his co-driver? We don't know that until we find out what exactly was going on. But right now we're thinking this dude is a freaking monster, right? And so the good news is that all the evidence is right there. It's all on videotape. It's all on the electronic logging device. Apparently, I guess they keep things hush hush in case the dude is part of an elite family, right? Then they get the lawyer, and it's a different story. There's two different laws. There's a law for poor people and a law for the well-to-do. Okay? And so that's all I've got for right now. I just wanted to put this information out there about, you know, how do they extradite? Is he still here, you know, or is he back in Florida? How do they get him from here to there? Because all these truck drivers are going to want to know that once they know they are that close to being in the same damn predicament as this dude. Okay? And so hopefully they'll start releasing this information to the people soon. That's all I've got, people. And thank you for leaving comments. I see there's only a few people in here, actually a couple people in here. Nine Eye said hi. Somebody's leaving goofy messages. Okay, so that's all I've got. This is just information for you to, you know, I know that some of you out there actually were there. Some of you actually, you know, were involved with the incident that goes on there. It's a big, small world. Message retracted. Why are you asking questions about a different subject? Who are you? What state are you from? Go to channel. Okay, so everybody give the video a like and share the video so that we can find out this information that nobody else is really talking about. If it turns out, like I said earlier, if it turns out that these people were playing chicken and he did that, I mean, the look on his face to me looked like a look. I know it's a different culture, but to me, it looked like a look of vindictiveness, right? And disgust. And like he thought these people were freaking, just had disdain for him, just disgust. So it makes you wonder what this dude is all about. And so, let's see what they say tomorrow. Because, like I said, it's a big, small world. And this will give them something to go find out. There's a lot of people out there who are detectives, right? And so we'll see what becomes of it tomorrow. That's all I've got for right now. Signing out from San Joaquin Valley, California. And it's Monday night, the 18th, August. And summer's almost gone, right? Summer's almost gone. I said the same thing last year. And so we'll talk to you all tomorrow. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you have the YouTube app downloaded. Subscribe to the channel. That way you catch me when I'm going live. Because right now I'm doing quite a few lives because certain conditions, I told you. I don't have this. There's certain things going on right now. So stay tuned and make sure you subscribe. That way you'll catch me when I go live again, because it'll probably be, soon. Keeping tabs on this story. I was just telling you the other day that when I started doing cross-country truck driving, which was back in like 2015, I told you, I said I couldn't believe the stuff that I saw out there was going on out, trucks going off, just all kinds of stuff. And well, just recently, like these last 3 months, all of a sudden, Facebook starts bringing all this stuff, all different news articles, local stuff. I guess it's AI or something. And now people are seeing what's going on out there. That's how they found out about this. Okay? So, talk to you later. Thank you for leaving the likes.